Hello and welcome to the next episode in this disaster series as I nearly fall down the loft ladders. Now, what we are going to do, plan of attack, we are exactly near enough 24 hours on from the last upload. So what we did in the last upload is we managed to get the Disney Castle out of the box, break it and then start to repair it. But I think that looks really nice there. Now there's loads of bits and pieces to go through. Nothing has been touched since yesterday. All I've done is got myself another one of these so I can carry on. That's 2 for 2 for me falling down the loft ladders. This is going to be an emotional one this evening. Now also, this all got put in yesterday. The more I look at it, the more I really like it. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a big mythical type land all the way through. And we've got to try and do different zones. Now, today's upload, Harry Potter and the little bits and pieces with the Jurassic Park. So in case you're wondering what this is all about, this is a disaster series of this Lego room and, of course, my life. We started off with episode number 1 of a massive hole in the floor. All these tables got stacked on top of each other. It's then slowly been coming into this. Then there was a massive leak in my unboxing room. So all that stuff had to come back up. And now we're finally getting there. But zone by zone, I'll run you through as a quick update. All of that L shape across the top just there, that is our Marvel / DC superhero section. So you see you've got the shadow box in the back, you've got the Ghostbuster bit. All of it will be completely tiled and it'll have all the base plates down and it's going to link as one full theme park. That is the plan. So with regards to what we're going to be trying to do today, Harry Potter and the Jurassic Park piece. Now what I want to do is I want to add the waterfall into the Jurassic Park section, into that thing over there, and it is going to come onto this table somewhere, which all that stuff came off from this bit just here. Now what I want to do is zone all of this up. It's all going to have paths, it's all going to zigzag through, but I just need to figure out the best way of attack of getting potentially the alley back on display, because after coming back from California I have now walked through all the Harry Potter lands. I've visited both massive Harry Potter castles. I do own that set, and I don't think a lot of you realise that, because it's been in a box under a table somewhere. I don't know how badly damaged it is. I can't really keep a straight face. I've got a very funny feeling I just threw it in there on alive, and I've not touched it since. So we've got to figure out where that's going to go. The only place that can go, because it's so wide, is where that space roller coaster track is. And then everything else can shimmy through. So this might be an emotional one, but fingers crossed it's productive. So stick around and we can see what we can achieve. Right, I've moved positions because I'm about to move this waterfall, but I'm on this side of the table, like I said in the last upload, which was only yesterday for me. But I think what I want to do is these 3 tables. This is a 100% going to be the UCS AT-AT battling the Disney Castle. And what I'm basically going to do is create a Hoth scene, but use the Disney Castle as the base. That is what that's going to happen. I think that would just be a completely different twist. Remember, it's supposed to be a theme park, and I have got all of these. So I've got 3 packs of those. So that is where that's going to go. I might go all out and get some more of these actually and just have loads and loads of minifigures all over it, just shooting at it basically, and then try and get an ATST potentially. And then all I've got to do, going by how they've done all their amazing displays over at the different Legoland parks, Legoland California, put a load of white base plates down and then just put maybe a little bit of black rockery in to keep it super simple. And then we can figure out if they're going to be battling all the princesses, which might be quite fun, or use something. So we'll figure it out. Might need to get some individual Star Wars characters, but that is the plan of attack for that. So that is basically table number 1, because I think the AT-AT should fit on that gap, should be fighting up that. We can just hug it in and just make that display. So basically, hopefully, from where this is backwards will be something else. Now this full table is going to be another bit of Star Wars, and then this one I think is going to be the Clone Wars display. So I think that's how that's going to work. Now at one point I did have some lac tables. Now, I'm sure everybody knows what a lac table is. It's from IKEA. It's basically cut in half. It's 55 centimetres by 55 centimetres. It's a smaller leg than what these are, but it actually stands on these tables, so I can give it a tier. So I have got a potential of doing that somewhere, potentially in the middle, just here, to add in an extra level for something, but it can only go in a certain couple of places. Now, the other thing that I was thinking of is making a massive roll. I don't know why I'm walking around like a moron. Is I want to make a very special coaster display. And now I've seen well, it's ridiculous. So what they've done over in one of the shops that I saw is this here, they had actually changed and another bit at the top on both sides to a grey track to make it look like it was worn out. And it just broke it up. It looked really, really smart. It sounds stupid, but just breaking up that colour with 4 different pieces that your eye always goes to, I spotted it straight away. And also what they've done is they connected the path that goes through all of this, because it's a very, very cool thing, to the next area as well within their display. And they had that pushed all the way over to the left. They had the loop coaster, I do believe, on the right. Both of the loop and the coaster was facing us. They created a massive display around the outside of it, and it looked very, very smart. So I want to try and recreate something like that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it side by side with regards to this table, as he's about to smash whatever that is. So that table there and this table here. Now, the only thing I can try and do is where I'm stood, bring a table forward. Now, if I do that, then I can't have the AT-AT doing its thing. So I'm in 2 minds at the moment. I don't know which way to go. I've only got this central roof for the highest sets. Now, obviously, I could potentially spin some of the tables around and do something a little bit different, but I don't really want to wreck the shape because I've kind of got an idea of what I'm doing. I just need to clear the space off the floor, and I think we're away. Now, potentially might be able to utilise space a little bit better. I could potentially have this table spun around this way and it's coming off that bit. I have to keep that bit clear, but if I did that, I could potentially use that for my editing bit, and then I could potentially have another table running down. So if I can get another table in here, which is ridiculous enough to say, I will try, but there is a lot of tables in here. I've got a huge amount of space, because even in that far corner, it is on 1 table, so that is, it's on 1 table, just on that L shape. Now I have got another tabletop, so I just need some legs for it. So we have got that opportunity. So if anybody can potentially think of something, the only other thing I can think of is having a double stacked coaster. So you've got a coaster here, another table, another coaster, but then you would lose everything. I think it'd make everything a little bit too claustrophobic, but that is much, much further down the line because I haven't got the coaster. So it's as simple as that. Now, He-Man Castle, that is going to be potentially moved today over to that area. Now, with this area, before we actually get on to moving what I said we were going to move about 4 minutes ago, I think we're going to do Rivendell. It's all a walkthrough. It's all going to be a real mythical sort of walkthrough attraction. The next bit, just behind the Winnie the Pooh, thinking maybe Graveyard, which would be that drop tower, and then we can have the Indiana Jones bit just beside it. Then I can try and get the car and the plane, which could be a perfect photo opportunity. And if I can, I'll find the original version of these Indiana Jones sets, because that is the Easter egg that is inside the drop tower, and I think that will work nicely. But that should only take up 32 stud width, because I can try and tuck that behind the Winnie the Pooh and then have the graveyard wrap round. Obviously you're going to be walking through the forests and the trees. Hopefully that won't take up too much room. Then that's where the He-Man Castle might come into it. Depending on what we do with this Harry Potter display and how much space it takes up, will then give me an idea if I've got room for a Snake Mountain and the castle. Now, if I don't have room for the castle, that could potentially go somewhere else, because that is the main roller coaster attraction at any single Legoland. So it doesn't necessarily have to go with that. It could be its standalone display. So potentially there's bits and pieces that we could do, because if I can make a full-blown coaster display and have the castle open, might be able to do something with it. But that's future. This is now. First thing we're going to do is this. Now, the reason why I've just gone over that the long-winded way is obviously the pirates are now probably going to get ripped back out again. They've been in and out, in and out, in and out this display the whole time. I just don't have space for it. It's a big enough theme at the Legoland parks, but I think out the two, the castle is the better theme, because that actually has the roller coasters there, whereas the pirates, it's sort of just there because I think it's just pirates and they just add a little bit of water to it. If there's something you can think of that I can add with that, then obviously please do let me know. But let's get to moving this now. The nice thing is that I have actually now got you on something that I can just plonk you down on, like so, and I can just crack on. So I don't have to keep stopping the camera, I don't have to worry about bits and pieces. Now I have got a giveaway purchase, which was the wizard thing that loads of people have bought and got. I've got a very funny feeling that's hidden somewhere. You know, you put something in a safe place and you can't remember what it is, but I am tempted to potentially build that. If I open that up, then that's going to open up a whole can of worms. Now this is what this set looks like. It's such a nice detailed set, and I've got to figure out roughly where it's going to go. Now I'm thinking either back of that table, so it looks like this, or putting it side on and it's feeding the water into the land, because that is going to be our water attraction. So I need to somehow crawl underneath this without smashing anything and place it. Right, for the sake of time, and I'm just too lazy because I want to get on with the Harry Potter bit, I'm just going to place this and then we're going to move on. I'm not even going to clean the table off. So I'm going to place it in 2 different places. I'm not going to add in the rest of the waterfall. If you didn't realise, you can extend it a lot more. There's plenty of detail on the back, but the nice thing is it is sturdy enough that you can just basically pick it up and do what you want to do. Now, I could have it just at the edge of the table, and then obviously you could potentially make it out that you go through the waterfall and then you go into the next bit. So that is how we close that land off. But to be honest, what I'm going to do is just going to be a loop. So you just come in and out that gate, so that it doesn't really make a difference what's behind it. So it either goes, as you can see, just there, or it goes with where the dinosaur is, coming facing inwards, and you can see it more. So, but until I get some of the other sets, I'm not really 100% sure where that can go. But I think it's going to work feeding in the water, and then we can have a load of baby dinosaurs and things on there. Now, moving on and round. So this is where all this is. That's where all that is. You know what's going on with that. That fan blade needs to move. But what I need to do before I do anything is get that shifted. So again, plonk you down. Yes, I am stood on the loft ladders. How I don't fall down these, I don't know. Now, that needs to move. I think it's the best thing to do going straight into a graveyard. I think, because it's the only, mumbling and stumbling over my words, because the Harry Potter set is too big, and it will take up a huge amount of table. That is just a base plate. It's got the ceiling heights, and that should be okay. Because I'm hoping the castle will fit on where the coaster track is. So if that is the case, we should be okay. Because I've got a couple of those hidden side graveyards, and we can make up a nice little display from that. But then it just depends on if we try and have the He-Man castle with the other castle and keep all that together. Come on, Rocky. Or look at that magic. Or we do something else. All right, let me get this moved, and then we will go from there. Right, this is not the easiest thing to pick up, but you are facing where it needs to go. And I've just hit the roof. Not ideal, but we've just, oh my days, we've just cleared the Stranger Things. I think the roof's about to fall off this. Get this down very, 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 very quickly. Whew, panicking. We're down. Right. Oh my gosh, what have I done? Not good. Right, now, does this fit? Does this slide in and go just there? And obviously, you know what the painful thing is? All of this is going to have to come back up again for me to put the base plates down. But we'll worry about that at a different time. Yeah, that goes all right there. That'll work, I think. I just need to tuck it in. Let me just figure it out. So I could have that angle because that's how it was. A couple of studs walking through. Now I either move this little thing out the way, which is a beautiful looking tree. This is from the A-frame, so I split basically the A-frame's the A-frame. That's going to be using our superhero section for probably a Tony Stark Easter egg. Now would that fit just in there like so? It means we can tile all around there. And in case you did wonder what I've been going on about, this will open. And if you've not seen on the inside of this, this is what it's all about. So if I push this back over to the side, you've got all of these Indiana Jones-esque references. So you've got all the Pharaoh stuff. It's all the adventure bits and pieces, isn't it? So if I get you in there and pin you up, that's probably really, really dark and you can't see a thing, but I can't open up without just pinned it in against where it needs to go. But that is the thing where it's supposed to go up and down on a chain, and that's not gone well. So what we'll do, we will worry about that for a different day. Now, get this tucked back in, and I think super close to the tree, that will work. That will tuck in nicely just there, which means the graveyard can start just here. That's what that looks like. And if I can wrap that round, I almost want that in just in the trees, don't I? Maybe I don't have the Indiana Jones stuff there. Maybe it's just a ride hidden within the walkway. Because if I can just get some more, trees and basically try and, obviously with the graveyard being in front of it, and just mix it in with the trees, that's what that would look like. That is going to stay there for now, because I think that is probably the best place for it, and it means I can crack on with the Harry Potter. Now, the castle. How bad is it? Well, I can tell you straight away, I don't even have to look. It's going to be disastrous because it's in this box that fell over the other day. That's what the noise was when I went, oh, that sounds expensive. I didn't think it was going to be the castle. So that whole castle is fitted in, basically, you're really close, into a crisp box. Let me pull it out and we'll see how bad it all is. Ow, just made on the table. Now, is that bad? I'm not actually too sure if it's actually in this bag or if it's in the box or both, because I know it's a big castle, but clearly that piece is upside down. That piece is supposed to be attached somewhere. That isn't even part of it. So this has clearly become a God, did I get that angry and alive? Right, I think I might be able to take it out bit by bit. If I take the bottom off, I'm tempted to rip the box. If I do that, I can't reuse the box. Now, what is this? Oh dear. This is a... Oh no, this is a proper disaster. I knew it was going to be bad, but I didn't think it was going to be rebuilt from scratch. I haven't got time for this. Right, that's a piece. That's a piece. Jay's toy collection. Oh, your fault. That's one huge piece, and that's another huge piece. I can't do this upside down. I need to pull the box out. It can get interesting. Get your popcorn at the ready. Still can't tell what's in the bag. I think the box has just fallen over. Oh no. Oh, well, could have been worse. Could have been better, don't get me wrong. I mean, that looks absolutely dreadful. That's going to be my, probably screen grab. And you guys and girls can figure out exactly what that's all about. That is one. Look at that, I move this. All of those boxes are going to fall over. That is from a leaky roof. I tried to salvage a load of bits and pieces, and that's why they got thrown in. Because I was just so busy. And I did all that just before and after my recent trip. What can I salvage? Right, it is as bad as it looks, but the detail on this thing is just nuts. Forgot how nice this looked with all the windows. Look at that. It is so pretty. So I really do think I need to add it back in. It just makes sense after all the Universal trips that I've done and all the Universal videos that are on there. I've got very good memories of, well, past life basically. So what I need to do is get the rest of these bits and pieces out of this box, and I know what I think I can do, because I have wanted for a long time to do a proper construction diorama with cranes and the minifigures. I've got like the little roller and things there, and I think that's what we can do on this. So what I can do is I can get the alleyway placed, I can get this just placed, and then what I might end up doing is maybe try and create like a scaffolding around it and just have this permanently under construction. if I can never repair it properly, because there might be pieces missing. And then over a long period of time, try and get it repaired, because you've got all the very limited edition minifigures. They're all still here, so I've got all of those. They come in on their plinth. Now that's obviously part of a Lego Technic cranes. That's nothing to do with this. There's all these little bits and pieces in, and that's only a tower. That's only the one thing. That's the stand that they all come on, so that's all of your different bits and pieces. That's your walkway. So it's not too bad, but it was absolutely fine until I decided, well, look at the size of this, look how small this box is. Well, I don't even know what I was thinking. To be honest, I think it was just placed in there fine, and it was absolutely perfect until I decided to, in a panic, throw all the stuff in here when there was a massive leak in the roof. And I forgot this box was at the bottom, because more than likely that bag was on it. I know, excuses. So, will it fit? We still have the length. Can I get it in? So I've just got to make a little bit of room. I'm not going to mess around any longer. I'm going to make a bit of room. I've got to pull out the space coaster. That's going to be a swine, because I have no idea now where that's going to go. And the Stranger Things set. I was looking at that box. Does it go back in that box? It can rest on another table, and that can be a different episode. Right, a little bit of progress, not much. Now, this is the second half. Look at the shape. Look how awkward it is. Look how big this thing is as well. So this is actually supposed to be the packed piece. Now, I was hoping it was going to go widthways of the table. And I'm also looking at the height of that ceiling. Now, I think that monstrosity is the bit that goes on that monstrosity. And then there's another monstrosity on top of that. And so I think that might hit the roof. So instead of it going across the widthways of the table, it might have to go lengthways. Because what I wanted to do was have that there and then have the Diagon Alley basically as a V to leave space for, obviously, the Gringotts Bank. And then just have that actually on the roller coaster track. And the roller coaster track was basically the ride. That's how that was going to be. Because I've been on that ride plenty of times, and I've been in that bank plenty of times as well. So this is going to be my sort of Harry Potter-esque section. Now these things are large as well, because don't forget, if you put two of these side by side, it basically takes up the whole table. So this is going to need a little bit of playing around with. Let me know what you think once I've had a play. So option number one, which clearly is not an option, is having it like that, where it's all split up and then you've got all that gap in the middle, and it looks absolutely dreadful, because obviously we split up that Rivendell and it looks fantastic. And again, with regards to the photos and the trees and everything, I think that will work when we add some more trees up in there. And then that is going to give us a space, I think, for one more thing. So it might just be the He-Man castle and that's it. There might be nothing else that will fit there. So then potentially, as and when the castle bit happens, that might just be its own land, maybe. The only other option is the Harry Potter stuff goes somewhere completely different, or I just don't do it and it just gets pulled instead, and I just have that as an option, maybe for the unboxing area when that all gets repaired. On the back shelves is where the alleyway goes, and we just have a Harry Potter, basically have a Harry Potter diorama down there instead, rather than having it up in here, which then would free up all of this table for more of a walkway. So we could have it either all that kind of theming going into a castle, or it goes into Wizards, and then the castle could potentially go somewhere else. I want the gates left up here, because I think they work really well up here. Nothing else is going to move from over there. The Ninjago is ready to go for the other unit for that one, because that is the exact space, so that's okay. And then that bit is going to be a Monkey Kid set eventually, so that's all alright. We know what's going to happen with the Star Wars, so yes, it is literally just this table with regards to what we're going to do. So I will put it in the only other option I think it can go, with the most space-saving way, and then we can see what's what. So potentially as an option, if the next bit fits, is this bit could stick its nose out just there, for example, and that could just be touching. So that is touching. That I'll bring it to the edge of that table. Now, for the first time, I've actually got an alleyway, which again, from a photo point of view, would look really nice. You have all the units on top of each other, and I think like that it looks very, very smart, and then I can see it from the back, so that's absolutely fine. The other thing is they obviously just go side by side in one long line. I think all 4 of them would fit on a table, but then it's not an alleyway, but you just see the fascias of everything. Whereas this, you can make up some nice little dioramas, and a lot of people do try and display it as an alleyway. With a bit of persuasion, that is the size of the castle. That's how much of the table it takes up, but when I push the pins in, it will all be connected. So obviously you've then got the height, you've got all those little bits and pieces. Now the only problem is that this bit, because of how weird this thing is that this has to be facing forward. So you do get the nice bit on the side there. You then have to connect it that way. That's how it will only go. And then you've got this bit. So obviously that bridge bit that's in that box in the middle will then connect these 2 pieces through. I do believe I remember right, it goes in that pin, so that takes up some table space, so you don't really have much space left at all. So the other thing to mess around with now is basically what happens with this, because if I just do it with you right now, how many on this lump can we get? So that's touching there, that is there. Can I fit 4? Whoops. Can I fit 4 in a row? Yes. So I can, if I want to, have all 4 of these at the front of the table, and it just goes 1, 2, 3, 4. However, don't really think that's the best use of space. Next option is this. Now it's nowhere near what I wanted it to be, because obviously you have them like that. Now I potentially think, if I was to put you down and did it again with you, that if I spun this round, obviously you have the back of them, and you can create an alleyway that way, so it takes up no space whatsoever, but you can't see anything, which kind of defeats the object. So I am a little bit stumped. Now what I wanted to do was actually copy the photo that they've got on the Lego website with the bank, because it looks like it comes out as a V. But that means you're going to need a huge amount of space. And with the height of that, it would have to go at this end of the table if I wanted to do it. That's why I wanted this spun round. Now, I can't move the Ninjago, and I'm not going to either. I don't particularly want to extend this any more than what it already is, because obviously it's a massive thing. But another issue is if I bring it further forward this way, you're going to have empty table space that way. So I need to really think about this one. Now this is a layout I've never done before, and I think it works. So you've got 2 facing forward. I don't know if anybody else has done it like this, and then you have that behind it. Look at that from a photo opportunity. I know the lighting's not fantastic, so all you have is those 3 like this. Now the nice thing is with the orange one is that if you get round to the side, you can then actually carry it on with a path, which will then take you on to the next thing. So problem is we have 1 more. So I either put 1 there and be done with it, and just basically have a square, push the castle back as far as I can, and then cry and go from there, or we see if we can do it in a way where I have space for the bank. Because the one thing that would potentially look nice is where that orange, where the orange and purple building is the actual Gringotts. Probably hacking that name up completely, but I will keep it on the coaster track. So I'd have the alleyway, have the coaster track, so you can actually see the ride and it's all open. I know it looks better when it's all together rather than on the 2 tiers. But there is potential like that. So again, that's what we could do. If I push this one over and push this one back, I really, really like the look of that. I think that works really nicely, just from a nice photo perspective. Now again, we have options, because this one could just go there, because obviously they all link and they are paths, so it all hooks up, but that one's obviously a little bit lost there. We are, annoyingly, all the way back to the end of the table, because this bit won't fit behind here. But I do want to be able to see it like that. Now the only other thing I can do is obviously you then open it up and then you put your you basically put another base plate down to make it wider and try and incorporate that one a little bit better, or for space and just for aerial photos of things, do I just try and get the Ollivanders and this thing with its very cool wonky chimneys? Do I try that without breaking it? Do I have it staggered like that and then just put a custom path here? Or obviously the obvious thing to do would be, do you enclose it off, and then from the aerial you'd have one way, one the other. Now that would only work better. Don't know, because I personally can't see anything. I can if I look over. So if I lean over like that, it's an enclosed alleyway, one end, one the other. That works absolutely fine. And then you've got the back. So it's one of those that if it was on the camera and you just saw the back end of it, you'd be thinking, what have you done? But when you look over and into it, like you would be making an actual display piece, then there is that option there. Now, with that being like that, how far can I push this castle over? Because obviously I can't have it staggered, so this all would need to shift. Now would that fit? Which it does, but would this piece fit? This is the problem, because if this bit fits, all depends on this. Because where's the pins? How close is this going to be? That is tight, but it's in, so it fits. Does it fit? Am I being a bit ambitious? I think it's stuck on the brickwork. Oh no, it's not. I don't think I'm twisted it around enough. Hang on. Could be a bit of a problem. That's how it's got to go in, like that. And that is never going to go in like that because it overhangs too much. And yes, I actually have it overhanging the back of the table. That's how big this castle is. The only potential saving grace that I can think of is if I was to bring this forward. I don't think it will fit in that gap there actually, because maybe I'll just create a full table. Would it fit in that gap? Because then that is just the roller coaster. That's then the track by itself. I don't know. I don't know where I want to have the track where the purple one is. The more I look at that, the more I really like it. But I just don't know if it's better. Obviously, visually on the camera, it's better if that piece isn't there. But then at the same time, I mean, no choice. So if I was to pull this bit out the way, knock that off from something. No idea what bit from the inside that's come off, but can I do this? Have I just been stupid all along? Is this going to be wide enough for two? Oh, definitely don't want that. He's lost his noodles. We don't want that. There you go. You can have his noodle bowl back. Right, that does fit there. So we can, if we want to, have it like this. Now that isn't going to be big enough for that space there. Isn't going to be big enough for another one. But I don't know whether we have the alleyway, we have it enclosed. That is what that looks like from there, and we've got a little bit of space at the front. But that's why I wanted that spun, because if I could spin that, I could have that in front of it. We have got issues with this castle. It's not going to plan. But I do like this. I'm glad that we've messed around with this. Just need to think of potentially a better way of doing this though. Because I don't know. Because if that went forwards, and this came to there, and that came to there, and that came to there, and if I did that all the way to the front of the table, for example, so that went there, that went there, so we're not losing any table space whatsoever. So that looks stupid like that, more than likely. Can I get through that, have that, and then the ride goes in that gap there, because it's the same thing, so it would be above it. That makes sense? So it's got the height behind that, so I think that bit works. And again, obviously, it can just go, they are designed to go back to back. So you can have the buildings back to back, and I guess, he says, if I wanted to put that building back to back and have a small alleyway through, I can then go into the other one, because the other one is on the same base plate, so it's only going to be that deep. I need like a 10 stud wider table. That's what I need. I haven't got one. You're not going to believe this. We've been going a long time. I know this has been a long-winded, waffled thing. But the castle, widthways, does fit where I want to put it. All I had to do was angle it ever so slightly and basically chip away a little bit of brickwork, because it was just hitting, it's only sticking out a little bit, so it does ever so slightly overhang there, but I don't care. To be honest, it does not matter. I can put, I've got another table, I can bring this over ever so slightly, which then means obviously this, as is, could just go like that. So we could leave that bit open, because I think that looks very, very smart. Potentially do it the other way, and then have the track and everything behind it. All forward thinking for a set that I don't even own. This is how much of a nightmare it is. I just like that, but I just don't know if it'll have that same effect with the track, because obviously, like I've been saying, where that purple thing is, if that purple thing got replaced by the track and we made this alleyway twice as long, which is obviously what we can do, like this for example, because we can do it now, we can put it anywhere we want on the table. We can go just like that, and we put the other one here. That might look quite nice. Or we put it there, if it fits, and we put the bank weirdly. But I've got a very, very, very bad feeling, it might be on a different base plate. And I bet you guys have been screaming at me all the way through. I should have looked on the Lego website. Hang on. Well, I have just made an absolute meal of that. It's on a 32 by 32. Muppet. The answer to my own question, yes, I can actually, not a problem. So we have got this shape, going by this shape, you can go through the alley if you wanted to. You'd see the track through that gap, and then obviously the rest of the set would tower over everything. So that's option number one. Option number two, you can just bring that round if you wanted to. So that is just tucking in to the bottom, and then again the next one towers over, so it's not eating in to anything. We can just push this over towards the actual castle. Now obviously if we're going to do that, then we just flip this around, so this one just goes like so, and then we can just push the whole thing back, and then we've created our nice three-way display, which is obviously this thing with the pink at the end this time instead. That sounded completely dodgy, but never mind. So that there, and then obviously everything else can then just line up. So that's what you would see from the angle. Bring that back, push that there, 32 by 32. I'm happy with that because I can be able to see the track from the side, the front, the top, and then it just goes over. So we basically now actually, completely by mistake, created two alleyways. So that's the truth from Ninjago. You've got one alleyway down there, which I think looks nice. And then from a different viewpoint, you've now got another alleyway just here. So those two are just side by side. And then there is your bank. Now, if we think the bank will look better on the other place, I can move the bank on the other place. And this is all for future. I've not even thought about ordering this set yet. So I've just moved it over, and this is a bit of a better look. So I can now get really nice photos from that angle. And then as you spin round, you get really, really nice pictures from that angle. And I think that's going to look really nice with the bank beside it. Now, after all of this faffing around with that castle, I don't think it works there. I think it's just too big. However, that's almost like a perfect diorama for an unboxing thing behind you, because it's really, really big. Which then means it leaves me space for two more themes. So, Rivendell into our graveyard, haunted house sort of thing, because that works, it's all spooky. Then into here, that's big enough for a theme. So that could just be the castle, or the other castle. The problem is with this, it has to stay here for me to get the benefit of seeing both bits, because it's obviously wider than the Kallax. So you can see it's far too big, and I've got a little bit of space here that I can do something with. And with the new 2024 Harry Potter sets, I could just get the little Harry Potter car and just park it just at the front and just have some people walking around and just create some more path. Now this obviously takes up a huge amount of space. It is over half a table free. Now I either put the He-Man Snake Mountain at that end, or I put a full proper, and as I'm thinking about this out loud it makes sense, a full-blown medieval village for the rest of that table. So we've got Rivendell just walking past the graveyard, and that's just the ride, that's all that is, into something, into the wizard bit, and then it's a full-blown castle Mythica type thing. And if you think of what sets are available with the giveaway that I've actually got, and I have some of the older knights and catapults and that kind of thing, I think that might work quite well. I think. So you guys are going to have to help, because that's it. We're going to run out of time. That's completely it. So we've tried, I think we failed, but it's nice to see it. And it will be seen again when I repair the roof. And funny enough, it's the roof that's damaged on that, and it's the roof that's damaged in the unboxing area. Fantastic. So that can go back in its home, but I can leave that there for now, which means I won't put anything there. And then on the next upload will be further progress on this, just bringing bits and pieces over. To be honest, I'm actually tempted to sort out the Kallaxes down behind me, because I've got 6 cubes and 2 cat beds. So the 2 cat beds obviously aren't moving, but the 6 cubes can stay as, well, pull that stuff out. And then I can put some of these bigger sets in there, which means they're there and on display. And then we can just basically figure it out. So this is basically a very, very, very long video to move a waterfall that's not been placed properly, to nearly fall down the loft ladders for a Harry Potter castle, which I'm not going to keep there, but I have got this display. And bearing in mind the 3 sets that I want are the bank, the castle, and the blacksmith, you start doing the maths on how much that's going to be over the next year just for that. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Not that I've got enough to mess around with, but guys, I think that is it. I am done. So I apologise if you enjoyed it. Fantastic. If you haven't, I'm sorry. But if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care and take us to the next one. Ta-da.